Time to get into some higher learning kind of discussion, and we're privileged to have the CEO of KMTC, Dr. Kelly Oluoch. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Hope the rains have been kind to you this morning.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so before we begin, so last week, the Health Cabinet Secretary, Susan Akumicha, launched the KMTC Strategic Plan 2023-2028. Let's listen in to what she was talking about, briefly an overview of it, before we actually continue to get to know the whole journey of KMTC since it was established until now.
I'm going to ensure that people do not encroach on your core business. Let people concentrate on what they are supposed to be doing. Training be left to KMTC. I'm going to ensure that happens. In our collective commitment to ensure that KMTC continues to be a beacon of excellence in medical education and healthcare advancement, I will do what it takes. I know there have been questions about the KMTCs that are not yet operational, but as a policy direction, we have decided we shall operationalize the many that were built and they are not operational before we get into new ones.
That is just a snippet of health here. Susan Akumicha speaking on Thursday, that is last week. And Dr. Rishi mentions two major things: the whole operationalization of KMTC and, well, how should really KMTC should be left on matters training, but we'll get to that. But even as this strategic plan focuses on 2023 to 2028, I mean, we're focusing on the future. But what's the future without now taking a look at the past? Take us a memory down back in 1927, which is established. Walk us through the journey.
Okay, thank you so much. On Thursday last week, KMTC launched two important documents. One is the history of KMTC, the journey to greatness, and two, the strategic plan. And number three, the curricula for international languages. About the journey to greatness, KMTC was established in 1927 in the then Jean School, the current School of Government in Kabete. It later moved to King George IV Hospital. That time it was along the Kingsway, that is the current University Way. Then moved to current Kenyatta Hospital. At that point in time, there were only 4 students, and the training was concentrated on wound dressing because it was around World War I, and then later towards World War II. Then additional courses were introduced, including compounding and later nursing. KMTC has grown from that level to 1990 when it became a parastatal under the Ministry of Health with its own semi-autonomous status of management. Later on, in 2017, KMTC was recategorized from PC2 to 4A, meaning that it played an additional role of research. So basically, KMTC has now moved from having 4 students to having over 62,000 students. And we have moved from just having 1 course to having 95 programs in 18 departments that are now categorized in 7 faculties. And we have now had our presence in 44 of the 47 counties with 74 campuses currently.
Right.
Yes.
And you had mentioned something interesting that was also launched on Thursday, the Innovative Foreign Language Curriculum. Tell us about that.
Yes. You look at the current strategic plan of KMTC. It seeks to be a globally competitive institution in training health professionals. And for us to do that, we must develop fit-for-purpose graduates. And fit-for-purpose graduate means that they must be able to operate in the context of the patient where that patient is. And so KMTC seeks to be a global leader in training health professionals at middle level. And that means that beyond just providing the normal English language training that is required for countries like UK, we have established additional curricula to address other markets where our trainees could then find jobs, like Arabic, German, and French. So we launched 3 additional curricula in those areas that I've mentioned, basically to widen the opportunities for our graduates so that they're able to work in countries other than the English-speaking countries. This then gives KMTC an opportunity to play into the international role that it seeks to compete in without having prejudice of language for our graduates.
Right. And so apart from even expanding the languages that are really even taught, how else is the institution really focusing on quality training?
There are several things that we're doing. Number one is we are ensuring that our certification of ISO 9001:2015 is actually revamped, and that we produce graduates who are internationally recognized because we follow quality management systems. Secondly, we are putting a lot of investment on the equipment that are needed for training, like simulation laboratories, skills laboratories. We are putting a lot of emphasis on our ICT infrastructure so that our students are able to learn anywhere, wherever they are, whenever they want to learn, like putting in place an e-learning platform. We're putting in place e-libraries and making sure that our students are able to learn wherever they are. We're also ensuring that we have quality lecturers by first ensuring that we have adequate number of lecturers. Currently, we are processing to do recruitment for additional lecturers so that we have a proper ratio between lecturers and students.
What ratio are you looking at?
We are looking at a ratio of 1 to 10.
In all the 74 campuses?
Yes. That means that our students should get world-class training that enables them to be competent at the world stage, because we are now looking at not only being able to supply the local market, but also the international market. And some of the things that are looked at when you're looking at the international market is to have a proper ratio where students will be properly instructed, not only in classrooms, but in the practical areas. And that requires a better ratio of lecturer to students that enables that kind of instruction to take place, because in the clinical setup, the instructions are almost one-to-one, lecturer to student, on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
We are also looking at improving our infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, to accommodate additional number of students. And this is why you hear the CS Madam Nakumecha saying that we have 21 additional campuses which we need to operationalize to allow for enough infrastructure, adequate infrastructure that allows for quality training.
Is there a timeline for this? Because I'm imagining some of the students have seen these institutions completed but not yet operationalized. So they'll probably be wondering, they're watching us this morning, and they're wondering, when are they going to be operationalized? Is there a fixed timeline, saying that we will launch, operationalize these institutions at this time?
Yeah, we are in the process of operationalizing. We have actually operationalized one in the last 1 month. This month alone, we are also going to operationalize Marsabit. Oh. We have a period of 1 year upon which we should be able to put human resources in place, be able to put systems in place, ICT infrastructure, be able to negotiate and have MOUs with training facilities, be able to put additional equipment in place to make sure that the 21 campuses that we are looking into taking into on board are actually up and running, and that students can then start to be admitted in those campuses.
All right. And you had mentioned that there are 3 counties yet to be really have KMTC institutions.
Yes.
And I want to pick your mind on universal health coverage, because you made, back then, I think last month when you're having the whole celebrations, the universal health coverage, and this strategic plan, is aligned to universal health coverage. I'm curious, with your expertise, and even as a CEO of KMTC, what are your thoughts of universal health coverage in Kenya?
Okay, my thoughts are this, that basically the definition of universal health coverage means that all people are accessing quality health care whenever they are, without suffering catastrophic financial challenges. And that basically means that healthcare should be accessible in quantities, quality, and the spectrum that can assure the public of quality in terms of being able to access and be able to be informed about their health. And it covers the whole spectrum from promotional services, rehabilitative services, curative services, including palliative care. KMTC is well placed as the main trainer for the Ministry of Health, providing over 85% of human resources in the health sector to be able to provide the quality human resources that are required to make sure that the UHC works. How do we do this? We have courses that are aligned to primary health care. These courses include Community Health Promoters course, which is a short course. We also have courses in nutrition, we have health promotion, we have courses that enable health provision at community level, that then enables our citizens to be informed about their health, to take informed choices about their health, and be able to seek further health care attention at higher levels where it is needed.
Right. I'm taking a look at the theme for the whole strategic plan. It's quite mouthful, by the way, quite a long one. Advancing health professions, education through transformative training, research, and collaboration. However, the fact that it's mouthful, but then it really speaks largely on even what you're talking about. Three keywords here: training, research, and collaboration. You're really discussing matters, the whole training, and how KMTC has been doing it since 1927 till now, and how it really is focusing on how it will do it. Speak on even research. How is KMTC really big on research? I remember last month, Public Health PS Mary Muthoni talking about the government is going to support academic institutions when it comes to the research, and even encouraging to come up with programs and initiate research programs. Are there any research programs that KMTC is undertaking at the moment?
Yeah, the KMTC is geared towards enabling our faculty and students to conduct quality research and be able to come up with findings that then inform policy, extend the boundaries of knowledge, and inform practice. KMTC has developed policies that enable its staff and students to engage in research. Secondly, we have developed elaborate programs to ensure that our staff are capacity built on conducting operational research and research that is geared towards enabling KMTC to provide quality training, like enhancing our curricula. Thirdly, KMTC collaborates very well with other institutions to ensure that we infuse our research agenda with the national agenda for development. Fourth, we encourage our students. No student graduates without handing in a research work, and that research work should gear towards originality, being able to make our students lifelong learners. And currently, as an institution, we ensure that there are biannual conferences where research findings are then discussed, and these findings then find their way in practice and in policy. We also are having a journal that is internal to KMTC that speaks to the research agenda of KMTC, being able to publish research findings. And also now, right now, we are looking at scaling up how many we can have in terms of faculty being able to do research, conduct research, and be able to collaborate in research to ensure that we are able to address the research questions that affect the health sector, including human resources for health.
Right. But Dr. And I'm curious because, for example, in all the 74 campuses, even the thousands of students here, if each of them provides a research paper and all this, and really gears and up for probably a research project. So where does this particular research, now at the end of the day, its final product, do we get to see the final product of some of these researches that are really brewed up in the institutions? Yeah.
Number one, we make sure that we have a proper repository for all researches that are done in KMTC. Secondly, we encourage publishing of research findings, and therefore it means that there is discourse, intellectual discourse about our research findings. Thirdly, we encourage our lecturers and students to participate in conferences that enable them then to present their findings. We encourage students in groups to attend conferences and therefore also be able to present innovative findings of their research in those conferences, especially technology-driven kind of researches that then enable proper diagnosis, access to diagnostic services, access to primary health care. And so we develop a collaborative approach in research, enabling our students to start being inquisitive, being lifelong learners, and basically enabling them to understand that research is an integral part of the intellectual discourse.
All right. Yeah. And yesterday, I mean, we were planting, or as some would say, growing trees, and I'm curious. How does KMTC really focus largely on environmental sustainability?
Yeah, we have a key result area that is institutional sustainability. That then part of that result area is looking at environmental sustainability. KMTC this year alone has a target of planting 65,000 trees. And I'm happy that yesterday in the national tree growing exercise, all KMTCs participated to plant trees in all the areas that had been chosen for tree planting. Myself and a group of board directors and management were in West Pokot to ensure that we participate with the community and county governments to plant trees in that area. Secondly, KMTC looks at environmental cleanliness. We have days when our students participate in community cleaning to ensure that we have a clean environment. Thirdly, we have ensured that we are responsive in use of paper, for example, printing on both sides of the paper, and also ensuring that as an institution, we make our learners aware of their roles in ensuring that we have a sustainable environment that we can then hand over to the next generations. We also ensure that we have in our new strategic plan energy saving approaches to our institution, like putting solar lighting, street lights, solar lighting systems to reduce on our consumption of electricity, and also have certain other innovative ways like biodigesters where we do not have sewer systems in place that then enable us to use waste in a responsive way. We also have a way of looking at safe disposal of harmful waste. And we also train our students on the same and how to be responsible citizens, and the fact that they have a duty to make sure that they sustain an environment that is conducive for learning and also for living in the communities where we are.
Right. And speaking of matters even sustaining, 2028 is, well, it looks like quite a far away moment, but then it might really be just here. And I'm curious, even as CEO, how do you really foresee from 2023 all the way to 2028, what are you foreseeing all the way? Even speaking largely on matters, even the digital kind of transformation that KMTC really has to have.
I'm foreseeing a transformed institution, an institution that is addressing the global agenda when it comes to human resources for health, an institution that is capable of providing local solutions to human resource needs for the country, being able to provide adequate, well-trained human resources for the country and other countries that require human resources. I'm looking at an institution that is efficient and effective in the way it uses its resources to address global challenges. I'm looking at an institution that is digitally accomplished, being able to use digital technology to advance its agenda. I'm looking at an institution that is globally competitive. I'm looking at an institution that is capable of taking on the best institutions in the world in human resources for health training.
Right. And Dr. some students from KMTC and some would even like to join, and even the parents are curious. I mean, so far you've really quite a huge number of students, but then even moving on, you'd really want to even involve others. You talk about 21, operationalize them. Are these students going to be supported? How do you really undergo all that?
We have financial support for our students. KMTC is one of those institutions that operates an internal fund that then it partners with HELB to ensure that it issues these funds to needy students in a responsive way that enables the most needy students to access financing, and then later on when they're able to get employment, they're able to pay back this. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we have mentorship programs for our students. And thirdly, we have student centers that enable them to have a conversation that is conducive to their well-being. We also engage our students in sports activities and extracurricular activities. We plan to make sure that, for example, we have a state-of-the-art sports facilities within the next 5 years to make sure that our students' health is taken care of beyond classroom setup.
Right.
We also take care of their mental health by ensuring that we have counselors in our campuses.
All right. And okay, before you even get your final remarks, allow me to put you on the spot here, Dr. In Vihiga campus, because I mean, you're really the right person as the CEO to really talk about some of these issues when it comes to political goodwill. In Vihiga campus had closed for 3 academic years. You're aware of that, before it was opened last year. And this really had to do largely with the whole political kind of scuffles in that particular area. I'm curious, when you're taking a look at the strategic plan for 2023 all the way to 2028, how do you foresee maneuvering this? Is there political goodwill, even when you're really working with some of these campuses and the leaders around here?
Okay, first let me correct that Vihiga campus was not closed. Mm-hmm. It's been operational all through. What happened was that we reduced the number of students in certain courses to first ensure that we meet quality in terms of infrastructure. And I can tell you that Vihiga right now has a lot of goodwill for KMTC. Myself and the board of directors of KMTC have consistently involved the governor for Vihiga, including the stakeholders in Vihiga. And currently, one of the key challenges that Vihiga was facing was the issue of infrastructure for training. And in response to that, we have had a collaborative effort to have additional facilities at Kegondi and Iduku. Okay. That will support learning in Vihiga. We have also ensured that we have health trainers in that place that are able to take care of students. Right. We have also collaborated with the county to ensure that we have facilities, health facilities that can then take care of training. And we are hoping that with the current recruitment of lecturers, we will be able to provide even more courses in Vihiga and revamp the training in Vihiga so that students are able to access training in that part of the country. So basically there is a brighter future, not only even in Vihiga, but across the country. Definitely.
Give me your last thoughts. now till 2028, what should we really be expecting from KMTC?
Okay, number one, expect quality trained graduates. Expect competent, fit for purpose graduates who are able to work in any environment, because we will give them additional capabilities in terms of languages, in terms of competence, and in terms of ability to be digital natives. Secondly, expect a digitally transformed institution which utilizes the digital platforms to increase efficiency and effectiveness of its courses. Thirdly, expect an institution that is capable of conducting research, being innovative, and being able to conduct consultancy services.
Right.
And fourth, expect an institution that is sustainable in terms of financial management, in terms of environmental sustainability, in the way in which we collaborate with our stakeholders, and expect an institution that is capable of competing in the world platform.
Right. Asante sana, Dr. Kelly Luoch, the CEO of KMTC. Asante sana, and most definitely look out for that. But another thing to look out for, even as we really easing up this particular Tuesday morning when it comes to matters yoga, just to relax yourself. Probably you're in the house, look for some space because you're about to get to do that. Flora Demuki, as well as Yvonne, about to get into some yoga exercise. If you're in the office, don't worry. Tell the boss, give me some space in the office just to also relax. They'll be coming up after this tiny short break, so don't go too far. This short break is for you to look for some fitness wear, for you to change and get into some yoga moments. We'll be right back.